The next morning, Uncle gave me back my usual clothes, my simple tunic and shorts, stitched by Auntie's hands. I felt lighter in them, free to move as I liked, without the weight of her wrapper pulling at my waist. But as I stepped outside into the dusty morning light, I saw the girls clustered in groups near the well, their chatter stopping as I approached. I waved, hoping someone might call me over. They all turned, their faces unsure, fingers wrapped tightly around their empty clay pots. I took a deep breath, mustering the courage to walk up to Adesewa, who stood at the edge of the group. "Let's play hide and seek by the stream," I said, a hopeful grin spreading across my face. Adesewa's eyes flickered over me, her mouth tightening. "Why don't you go play with the boys, Obalewa?" she asked, the words gentle but firm. The other girls exchanged glances, and I felt a strange chill creep into my chest. She had spoken softly, but everyone could hear the meaning. My cheeks burned with embarrassment. There were no boys left in Owa village. I turned away, feeling a hollow ache that followed me all morning as I wandered alone. I passed by the girls again, watching as they prepared their clay pots and baskets, heading down the winding path to the stream to fetch water. I tried to tag along, but each time I drew closer, they fell quiet, drifting away like scattered birds. For days, I trailed behind them in silence, watching them play koto in the evenings, clapping and singing with a joy that filled the night air. They would jump and spin, calling out the koto rhythm in perfect harmony. Asterisk, koto koto, turn and go. With my right, with my left, it's you I know. Asterisk. I watched, listening to the lilting tune, wishing my voice could join theirs, that my feet could stamp along with theirs. But each time I tried to join in, I'd see the sideways glances, the half-hidden smirks. I was not one of them, not dressed as I was, not with my bare chest and my loose shorts. Loneliness grew thick around me, like the mist that clings to the hills in early morning. And as I sat alone by the iroko tree in the village square, watching the girls laugh and spin, a strange idea came over me. I remembered the wrapper I had worn that terrible morning, the way they'd accepted me without question, as if I were no different from them. That evening, I snuck back into Auntie Ayabode's hut, my fingers brushing over the familiar yellow fabric folded beside her bed. I pulled it close, inhaling the faint scent of camwood paste that still clung to the cloth, and tied it around myself once more, my heart thumping in my chest. When I emerged, the girls stopped to look at me, their eyes widening with surprise before softening into smiles. "Obalewa. You're back," Adesewa said, a sly grin spreading across her face as she reached for my hand. "Come, let's play by the stream before the moon rises." They welcomed me that evening, pulling me into their games of hide and seek along the banks, giggling as we ducked behind the thick palms and broad banana leaves. They cheered as I splashed in the water with them, dipping the clay pots just as they did, filling them with water for the evening meal. I joined in the koto clapping game, feeling my feet stamp and twist in time with theirs, laughter pouring out of me as the dusk deepened. In that moment, under the warm glow of the setting sun, I forgot everything, the raid, the fear, the boys that were no longer here. All I could feel was the joy of moving, laughing, being. But as the last streaks of daylight faded, Adesewa took my hand and pulled me aside. Her eyes were steady, her voice soft. "Obalewa," she said, "you can't stay like this forever. You are one of us, but also, you are not. You must know that." Her words stung, like the prickle of a thorn. I looked away, trying to keep my voice steady. "Maybe I am both," I said, my heart pounding. "A boy when I need to be. And a girl when I want to be close to you all." Adesewa stared at me, her face unreadable, and after a long moment, she nodded. "We will see," she murmured, and slipped back to the others, leaving me alone under the shadow of the palms. From that day on, each morning I would slip into Auntie's wrapper when the girls gathered, feeling its weight transform me, pulling me into their world where I was not alone. In the evenings, I would untie it and step out, returning to my tunic and shorts as the only boy in Owa village. One day, the air in the village felt tense, heavy with the scent of rain that had not yet fallen. I was playing koto with the girls by the riverbank, my feet stamping in rhythm with theirs as we spun and laughed, our voices echoing through the trees. But as we circled around, my foot slipped, and I stumbled forward, bumping into Adesewa. She toppled sideways, her clay pot crashing to the ground and shattering into pieces. The laughter stopped. Adesewa's eyes widened in shock as she looked down at her broken pot, then up at me. The other girls covered their mouths, whispering to each other, their faces twisted with dismay. I could feel the weight of their stares, hot and sharp, pressing down on me like stones. Obalewa, Adesewa hissed, her voice cutting through the silence, that was my mother's pot. I opened my mouth to apologize, but the words stuck in my throat. Adesewa's eyes were blazing, her face flushed with anger and embarrassment. I had never seen her like this, and it filled me with a strange fear. It was just a mistake, I said, my voice small and shaky. But the other girls drew back, their expressions hardening as if I had crossed an invisible line. One by one, they turned away from me, taking Adesewa by the arm and leading her away from the broken pieces of the pot. I stood there, helpless, watching as they walked up the path without a backward glance. Their soft, accusing whispers floated back toward me, each one like a thorn that cut deeper into my heart. I called out to them, but they didn't answer. I felt my chest tighten, a mix of anger and shame swelling inside me. I didn't want to cry, but as I stood there alone by the riverbank, I could feel the tears slipping down my cheeks. For the next few days, they shunned me. Whenever I tried to join their games or fetch water with them, they would turn their backs or scatter, leaving me standing alone with my empty pot, the air thick with their silent rejection. The wrapper that had once been my shield felt heavier, almost unbearable, without the warmth of their smiles. I wandered the village, my heart aching with loneliness, as I tried to find ways to pass the time.